If you're a landscaping company or any other local service-based business looking to generate more leads with Google Ads, this video is going to cover all the main aspects that you need to know and shows a real-life example of a landscaping company that we started working with recently to generate them leads, and we'll show you the process of exactly how we went about doing that. And we'll start by showing you all the settings that we chose to use and then followed by their keywords, ads, and landing pages, which are the most important aspects that go into running a successful campaign. Now, what we're going to do first of all is show you the exact settings that we chose when doing the initial campaign setup. So when we chose to make a new campaign, we chose leads first of all, selected the conversion goals then as blank because we set up our own conversion tracking later on. We chose to run a search campaign, so we're running a search campaign, which is what we'd highly recommend the most for lead generation especially. And for the select the ways you'd like to reach your goal, then you can keep this blank and press continue. And then we just named our campaign, which obviously you can name your campaign however you like, and then press continue. And with regards to our bidding, what we did and what I'll show you from the results we got so far is that we started out with maximize clicks with the intention of switching over to maximize conversions with a target CPA as soon as possible. So we set our bidding to maximize clicks and we set a maximum cost per click bid limit as well of about roughly €6 if I can remember correctly, based on the cost per clicks of the keywords inside the keyword planner. But we did this to get as many conversions as possible early on, so that way, when we switched across to a target CPA bidding strategy, which we only just did yesterday, we have enough conversion data for that bidding strategy to work as effectively as possible. And in month one, we had gotten about 25 leads. And at the end of month one, which is only just now, we have now been able to switch across to maximize conversions because we've gotten that relevant conversion data from the very beginning. And for customer acquisition, then you don't need to select bid for new customers only. I mean, you can just press next. And now with campaign settings, which are really important, you want to make sure that both of these search partners and display network are unselected because it just leads to really low quality traffic. And with your location settings as well, then you want to make sure it's selected to presence only and not presence or interest, because if you're a service-based business, you only want to be getting inquiries from people that are actually based inside your target area. And for that reason as well, you want to select enter another location, and for this company, they're based in Dublin, County Dublin in Ireland. So that's why you want to choose the location accordingly. And if you also want to target by mile radius in your case, you can also do that as well. So for example, if you wanted to do a mile radius for in a specific location, then you can do so like this. Now languages should just be selected to your own language by default, but just make sure it's selected to English. And most importantly, that you're only running your ads in one language because you don't want to be using multiple languages for the same campaign. And then audience segments is then as well. You want to just make sure that this is selected to observation mode. And as long as you have it selected to observation mode, you can literally target as many different types of audiences as you like, because Google's only going to collect data on these. And you're not telling Google that you only want to target these audiences. So you want to just make sure that is selected to observation mode. And as well, broad match keywords should be selected to off by default, but just double check that that's still the case for you. And also automatically created assets. You don't want Google just making random ads and adding new keywords or anything like that on your behalf. So you want to make sure that that's selected to off as well. More settings then, we like to keep ad rotation as optimized because basically Google is going to pick the best performing ad out of each of the three ads in every ad group to show the most often. So that's actually a useful feature of Google's AI that I recommend using. And apart from that, then you don't need to set an end date. And we would also recommend selecting an ad schedule as well. So this completely depends on, when your company operates, but you ideally want to run your ads when you know that you'll be able to answer any inquiries as soon as possible. So if that's only Mondays to Fridays for you, for example, from 9 to 5, then that will be the best time that you should run your ads. But it completely depends from company to company. So some other companies like to run their ads on weekends as well, but the best time to run your ads is either when you can answer the phone or if you get a form submission that lead can be responded to as soon as possible. And then you can just press next. And then we get to the point where we have to add in our keywords and ad groups. And we're going to go back to the campaign view to show you the campaign that we've already made to show you exactly how we've set up our keywords, ad groups, and landing pages. Now, so just to give you some more context as well on this campaign, we started running it just over 1 month ago. And in that first month, we got about 24 conversions using a maximize clicks bidding strategy with a maximum cost per click bid limit set. And our average cost per conversion in this campaign then came out to around €35 per lead, which was absolutely fine. And what we did then only yesterday was we changed the bidding strategy across to maximize conversions and set a target cost per action of €40. The reason why we selected this higher than what we're actually already paying per conversion is that we don't want Google's AI to be shy in our bidding, and we don't want to slow down the progress that we're already making. Whereas if we set this target CPA to a number that is below what we're already paying per lead, then it's going to take Google a lot more time to adjust to this. And we don't want to slow down the rate at which we're getting leads coming in. So you ideally want to set your target CPA to the number that you're already paying per conversion, or even a little bit higher, just so there isn't any real dip in performance and that everything slows down. And just to change the view of this to yesterday as well, since changing to maximize conversions with a target CPA, we ended up just getting 4 leads yesterday alone. And we wouldn't recommend this kind of progress from changing to maximize conversions with a target CPA in the very first day. But even when you set a target CPA of really higher, for example, even €40 like we did, we ended up getting 4 leads for under that amount. And what we'll end up doing with our target CPA as well, the lower we get our actual CPA to be, then we'll keep trying to reduce our target CPA over time to keep trying to get as many leads as possible each month within our budget. And now, just to show you the ad group structure, and we go through the keywords, ads, and landing pages now as well. We actually started out by running fencing services only for this campaign. So we had different ad groups, for example, the different types of fencing, fencing contractor, fence repair, fence installation, and had all of our keywords split up this way. So that way the ads that we made are all highly relevant to the keywords of that ad group. But since then, what we did is we actually paused a lot of the fencing ad groups because we noticed that searches for fencing that mentioned the type of fencing in particular was just people looking for like materials or looking at the types of panels and weren't converting at a very high rate into actual leads. Whereas the fencing contractor or fencing, services ads, as well as fence installation and fence repair ads are what performed best for us. And what we did then was this gave us more room to open up more ad groups where we added in, general landscaping keywords with landscaping ads, as well as patio installation, patio contractor, and artificial grass installation as well. So basically, we started out with fencing ads only, but since we paused a lot of the fencing ad groups that weren't performing as well, we added in new ad groups for other landscaping services that they offered that fit within our budget. And just to show you examples of some of these keywords and how they're all grouped together by intent, this ad group for artificial grass installation alone has about 50 keywords in it, but all of the keywords mean more or less the exact same thing and aren't just generic artificial grass keywords, but all have the same intent, meaning that it's somebody looking to get artificial grass installed. And now, in the past, you would have had to have a lot more ad groups because it was all SKAGs, meaning you had to have a separate ad group for every keyword. But in this case, because Google's a lot more advanced and understands that the intent behind different keywords can all be the same, we have keywords like synthetic turf installation, artificial turf installation, install fake grass. They all mean the exact same thing, so we have them all together in the same ad group. That's the key as well to having highly successful ad groups, is that all of the keywords in each ad group mean the exact same thing. And we've done this for all of the other ad groups as well. So all of the keywords in the fence installation ad group are specific to fence installation, same with fence repair, same with landscaping, patio installation, and so on. But just to show you what the ad copy looks like for one of these ad groups as well. For the ad copy for this campaign, we're running 2 or 3 separate ads in each ad group, and we're using 3 pinned headlines and 2 descriptions because we found that that ad structure just works a lot better for most of our campaigns than having 15 unpinned headlines and all 4 descriptions. We've just found it easier and quicker to see which ad copy is performing best, and we're able to optimize quicker this way. But you can see here for our headline 1 that we have dynamic keyword insertion in place. So if none of our search keywords are search as actual search terms, then the headline 1 will say artificial grass installation. But you can see from the 50 or so keywords that we had in that ad group that if any of those specific search terms are searched, then that's exactly what's going to appear as headline 1. And this is going to give us a much higher click through rate on average because the headline that they see when they search for that search term is going to be highly relevant to what they search for because it's literally word for word exactly what they search for. And what we like to do then is have benefits or call to actions as well as the second and third headlines. So free consultation and quote, so let them know exactly what they're going to get. and highlighting how much experience you have as well also works well. And we also like to have more keyword focus in the descriptions as well, so making it really clear what we offer. So artificial turf installation again, and we obviously do this for all the separate ad groups, and more benefits as well. So we like to have call to actions like call us for a free quote, and you can throw in more benefits in there as well, so affordable and for 15 plus years and family operated, and satisfaction guarantee and so on. And just to show you an example of another ad then as well, you can have different ways of displaying the benefits, like saying how many 5-star reviews you have, get a free quote in minutes, and again having more keyword focus again in your descriptions, and more benefits like immediate assistance, the most reliable, affordable pricing, and so on. And that's just an example of what the ads look like for all of these different ad groups. On the point of ads as well, though, what we want to make sure we make the most of as well as their actual assets, because these are going to make our ads look a lot bigger and help us stand out a lot more as well from our competitors, because they're going to take up more space on the page and also, really just display more about what we offer. What we like to do is add images at the ad group level, especially that are relevant to the service being offered. So, you can see here all the fencing related ad groups obviously have photos of fences. And then the artificial grass ad group will obviously have photos of artificial grass. And then, the patio ad groups will obviously have photos of patios and so on. So if somebody sees, the ad for patio installation after searching for a patio installation near me, they'll also see an example of like a patio being installed, and it will just confirm further that they're in the right place, but also more importantly, just making the ad bigger and increasing the likelihood that they actually click on the ad in the first place. What's also good as well is to have the business name and business logo added. And what we also like to do as well, which helps, is having separate site links for each of the ad groups that you're running as well. So let's just say somebody's looking for landscaping near me. Well, they might actually be interested in fencing, or a more specific aspect of what you offer. So they could look for landscaping near me and then see the main landscaping ad appear. But if they're looking for, to get artificial grass installed, for example, then there's a site link there that'll direct them straight to that landing page. And the key with your site links as well is to just make sure that you have the separate landing page URL as the URL for that site link, and not to just be using site links to direct people to different parts of your website. That's not what I recommend using site links for, but to direct traffic to actual specific landing pages for the specific service that you're offering. And apart from that, then with the extensions as well, we like to add callouts. So think of as many benefits of why they would choose you as possible. And we also like to add call extensions as well, which is really useful on mobile, because if somebody sees your ad and wants to just call you directly before they even click onto the landing page, then they can just do so by pressing the call extension. And those are the main extensions that we'd recommend using, especially for local service based businesses, to really make their ads stand out further and improve their overall click through rate and boost the amount of conversions that they're going to get. And just to show you as well what the landing page looks like for those that actually, click on the ad. If somebody looks for landscaping, for example, then they get brought to a landing page like this that makes it really clear that, we offer exactly what you're looking for with the headline. So, you want to make sure that you mention the service that's specific to the keywords and ads that they're targeting in the headline itself. And also, if you have an offer right below the headline, which I always recommend, you want to make sure that this is reflected as well. So let's just say they were looking for artificial grass, then I would say affordable and reliable artificial grass installation near you. And you could say 20% off all artificial grass services. So that way you're going to have a highly relevant landing page, and it's far more likely to convert than a generic landscaping landing page that somewhat covers everything. So this is what we'd recommend, having separate landing pages like this for every ad group. And once you have a solid template like this in place, then all you'd have to do is keep duplicating the landing pages for every ad group, and you could change around the wording. For example, here you could change this from interested in our fencing services or patio services, depending on the ad group. And when you go into more detail as well about the service that you offer, like we do down here, you can change this around in each ad group as well and change around the photos. So you could put a photo of a patio here, or artificial grass or fencing here, and change the description of that specific service as well. But more or less, all the other aspects of the landing page template can be the same. So you have an optimized hero section like this with your clear call to actions, your headline, description, benefits of why they would choose you, social proof with how many reviews you have, and a review here as well. More 5-star reviews, because trust is the most important part. Another call to action, more detail about the benefits. Another call to action. We like to have a lot of call to actions as well. and more information about what you offer for those that actually, scroll this far down the page, and a little about us section as well. But you don't need huge blocks of text. You don't need it to be like a website where you have massive paragraphs. You want to keep things concise and to the point and really focus on the action that you want the user to take next. Now, what's really important as well is that you want to make sure that this is just as optimized for mobile as it is for desktop, because if anything, you're going to get a lot more traffic on mobile than you are from desktop in the first place, with on average about 70% of your traffic coming from mobile. So you want to make sure that your landing page is fully mobile optimized and that anybody that lands on the landing page on their phone is just as likely to convert as if they were coming from computers. So you just want to make sure that, the landing page template that you have in place, is highly aligned with how you set it up in the first place. And now these are the main aspects that we wanted to cover inside this video about, how we've set up and run this campaign. And just to give you an insight, on how to set up and run campaigns for local service-based businesses in general. Now, if you do have any questions at all about how we've set up this campaign or any other aspects of Google Ads at all, feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you are a service-based company looking for further help refining your own campaigns, feel free to have a look at the link in the description down below. And if you do like this Google Ads related content as well, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as we'll be posting all things here related to Google Ads daily. And hopefully we'll see you in the next video.